We've got about 22 points on the Nifty and about 70 points on the Sensex at this point. And that is essentially where the pre-open rates have settled in. I don't think we have time to look at stocks and how they're opening up in the pre-open. So we'll just sort of come back a bit on these names. The first rate starting to come through shortly. So 24,916, absolutely flat. Nifty Bank is up about 0.4%. Small cap index is up about 0.25%. And this is where we are at. So it's a very, very staid, but decent open. 900 up and about 650 lower is where we are beginning today's trading session at. Nifty heat map will give you a quick sense of where we are starting, and then we'll get to individual names, lots of pre-quarter updates, and some other movers as well. So it's kind of evenly split right down the middle. So some of the hospital names like Max, Apollo, etc. are there. On one end, there's HDFC Bank. On the other end, there's Power Grid, Sun, Nestle, etc., which are coming through as well. So this is the market open, 40 points higher to start this Monday. Surbhi. Yeah,
absolutely. It's all the banks, frankly. 0.5% up on the bank Nifty. And that's the only silver lining, so to speak, because these updates have looked pretty good. To almost robust in some cases. So HDFC Bank with its 10% growth year on year, stocks up about 0.7%. There's ICICI Bank, which is rising slightly as well. Axis is managing about a move of a little over 0.5% at this point in time. Kotak Mahindra Bank is flat. It reported 15% growth, but for the time being, the stock isn't doing anything. The hospital stocks, of course, are excited because finally, after a good 10 years, CGHS has decided to revise hospital rates, how much it's paying for patient charges across hospitals. Max has a good exposure, so 3% up, making it the best performing stock on the Nifty right now. And Apollo as well, in quick succession, up about 2%. Okay, then I'm back to financials. Shriram Finance, 1.5% up. Bajaj Finance showing a growth of 24% in the quarter gone by. 1.2% up. So it's really financials that are saving the day. And the other good part is that at least IT is not falling. TCS 0.25% higher, Infosys also at least slightly positive right now. So it's not a downside drag. Actually, on the downside, there isn't too much. For the Nifty, there's Cipla, there's SBI Life. Some of the defense stocks like BEL are cooling off. Last week, we had a good rally in some of these large defense names. And then you have something like Titan and L&T on the lower side as well. But otherwise, it's financials all the way. Nigel?
Well, that's right. On the downside, hemisphere properties, I'm not sure what's happened there. But that's down close to around 15%. So sharp downtick is what we're seeing on that particular counter. We'll just check. It's falling on rather large volumes as well. So just keep an eye out on that stock. In terms of hospital stocks, the CGHS rates have been revised. And a company that's a listed company that has a fair bit of exposure is Yatharth Hospital. So that one, in fact, is opened up with a gain of close to around 4%. Volume's not very, very high, but that has a relatively higher proportion of their revenues that are linked to the scheme. So that's why, in fact, that stock is up and about. The other one is Aditya Birla Lifestyle. That large trade had to take place, 6% equity getting sold out. And, that happened in pre-open. So that's up close to around 10%. Big up move is what we're seeing. I recall when it got listed on the exchanges, in its new form. At that point of time, we did see the stock listed on 165 odd. From there, it pulled back. Now that this large trade is out of the way, well, it's popped up in trade 9% or thereabouts. On the downside, L&T Finance is under some pressure. That's down close to around 3% as we speak. So some bit of selling pressure out there. And metals continue to do well, because of the melt-up we're seeing in pricing. So Vedanta, no great shakes with regard to their quarterly update. But the street is looking ahead now, with regard to what's going to happen with regard to the demerger. That hearing is due. And that's why the stock has recovered. Even Hindustan Zinc, the only way to play the silver big catch-up that we're seeing. Silver is approaching $50 an ounce yet again. So that's why that's up close to around 1% or thereabouts. And Hindustan Copper as well. With copper at multi-month highs, well, that one continues to move ahead. Demand is relatively strong. And we have a bit of a supply issue globally as well. So that's why that one up 2.5%.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, it's a quiet start. 24,925 or so is where we are at. Sanjay.